Hi guys, welcome back. We are making 4 things today. So where's my list? This is like how crazy the kitchen has gotten right now. Oh, did I toss my list? I tossed my list. I did that. So let me explain to you guys what we're making. So we're gonna do a dreamy creamy fruit salad. We're gonna do some baked ziti, which is a pasta. It's kind of like a spaghetti, but better. Then we're gonna do chicken fajitas and red beans and rice. So the reason that I'm cooking all of this today, it sounds like I'm feeding a football team. My mother-in-law has 9 kids, but there's 3 little ones. And so we just love to like tag team life and just like help each other out and just make things easier for each other. So I'm just gonna make these 4 dishes and then bring them over to her house so that she and the kids can just eat for like a week or more. So right now we're gonna start on the pasta ziti because I feel like that takes the longest. So come on over here and let's show you what we've got going. So this is about 5 quarts of water, and I salted it with like a tablespoon of kosher salt. And we're just gonna wait until that boils. In the meantime, I scored some like mild Italian sausage. I just scored the top so I can take the meat out of the casing so we can start on the red sauce. So the pot's not on, that one is. So I'm gonna go over here and take a couple cloves of garlic. In case you guys are wondering why I didn't explain everything we need, I'm gonna have everything detailed in the description box below. So the ingredients, how to do this, I just want you guys to just be able to enjoy cooking with me. So yeah, look down below if you wanna make this recipe for you and your family. So I'm just gonna chop up some garlic. So the way I'm gonna do it is smash it first to release the flavor, and then we're gonna chop it up. And then after this, when that water is boiling, we're just gonna throw in like 1.5 pounds of ziti. You guys know I eyeball pretty much everything, not because I'm some master chef, just because I feel like cooking is really about like to taste. It's really just about what you and your family like. So yeah, sometimes I do stick to recipes and like specific measurements if it's a really like detailed recipe, but for the most part we just have fun and we just enjoy the food however we like to enjoy the food. So I'm gonna get everything finished up and then I will let you guys know the next step. The water is boiling. I just put in 1.5 pounds of pasta because I'm just kind of gonna eyeball this, put a little bit more seasonings than the recipe calls for, but if you wanna stick to the recipe, just do 1 pound of ziti. So that's in there. We're only gonna cook it like just shy of al dente because we're gonna end up baking it. So there's no need to overcook. You don't want like a slimy limp pasta. So this pan, or this pot, is heating up for our mild Italian sausage. So I'm just gonna take the meat out of its casing. They do have ground versions of this, but we went to Kroger, not HEB, and HEB, like no shade Kroger, but HEB has everything. Let the water go where it wants to go. You can run and hide. Okay, so the pasta is not ready yet. I just took a fork and I just took one out, and if it goes through easily, then it's pretty much al dente, but we're like not even close to al dente. So I'll give it maybe another 2 or 3 minutes. I'm gonna turn this heat down because the meat is fully cooked. So I'm gonna turn it down to like a simmer, and we're just gonna add our seasoning. So we're gonna do about 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Again, it's to taste. It just depends on how much you and your family like these seasonings. And if you don't cook a lot, then it might be best to stick to the recipe. But if you do, then I mean, you'll know what to do. So I'm just using a mixed peppercorn. This is pink, black, and white. I've been obsessed with white peppercorn lately. It's just a subtler flavor. It's milder, and I love the color. So then we're gonna add maybe like a teaspoon, or in my case more, of dried oregano. So the Italian sausage already has these herbs in it, so we're just gonna like reinforce that flavor. Then you're gonna do some salt. That should be enough. And then some of your dried basil. Now I am gonna kind of like hand measure this because we don't want to use too much because we are doing the fresh basil as well. We don't want to go too crazy with it. Then you're also gonna add in your 5 minced cloves of garlic. Then just mix that together for about like 1 or 2 minutes until everything is fragrant. And then we're gonna start adding in our sauces. So let me just show you the sauces that we're using. We're gonna use a combo. This is the Pioneer Woman's, this is the Rustic Bolognese. I've been obsessed with her sauces. I have 2 of her barbecue sauces, and I think it's, let me just show you. They're so, so good. The one that I've been loving is, what is this? Apple brown sugar. Oh my God, this girl can cook. It's so good. So I was like, let me just try this. But I do have my tried and true HEB brand black olives and capers. This just has such a punch of tanginess. I do love the mushroom and onion one, but I don't think that the kids really like onions. Not onions, mushrooms. So I'm not gonna go mushroom heavy. So this is about finished. Then you're gonna add in, this recipe also calls for diced tomatoes, just like a 14-ounce can. So we're just gonna add that with all of its sauces and glory. Then we're gonna start with the Pioneer Woman sauce. I'm actually gonna crank this up to high because there's a lot of liquid in these sauces and I kind of want it to simmer. I don't want it to like evaporate, but I want the sauces and the seasonings to marry.
Somebody told me don't pretend, 'cause everyone could use a friend sometimes. Take some good advice. Don't let your fear decide. That's how you break inside. You don't need to worry. Somebody's waiting down the line to pick up the pieces. Hey, you'll be alright.
So our sauce has been simmering for about like 5 minutes. I'm just gonna add about 1 teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of sugar and just kind of like a pinch full of fresh basil. Just gonna stir that around, let it marry, and then we're gonna move on to our cream.
I can feel the sun and how the wind makes way across the fields. Let me take a breath. Let me be a part of some.
So our sauce is simmering. We just thickened up the heavy cream, which was just like, for me it was 1.5 cups of heavy cream. For you guys, if you're just making it straight for the recipe, it's just gonna be 1 cup of heavy cream and I think it's like 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, just enough to thicken that up. So now we're gonna work on our cheese mixture. So we're gonna add in our cottage cheese to 2 eggs. I'm gonna add in almost all. So I'm gonna mix this up. And then I'm going to add, this is just like 1 cup of cubed mozzarella. I just got the block and then I cubed it up myself. Then I'm also gonna add about 1 cup of parm. That's gonna be almost all of this. A little more for good luck. And that is going to be our cheese mixture. Just gonna fully incorporate this and then we're going to add it into our cream mixture. Once we do that, we're gonna add 1 cup of the red sauce to our cream mixture, and then we're gonna add everything into here, mix it up, and then add the red sauce, the rest of it, on top of it, and then start baking.
Someone said it's better when you hold on to a helping hand. Sometimes we could all use a friend. Don't let your fear decide. That's how you break inside. You don't need to worry. Somebody's waiting down the line to pick up the pieces. Hey, you'll be alright. You'll be alright.
So our sauce is simmering. I'm just gonna turn this completely off because we're getting ready to start incorporating that into the pasta. This is our cream mixed with about 1.5 cups of the red sauce. Then we're gonna start adding our pasta to this. We're gonna be doing like a little bit of back and forth here, but that's just to get everything evenly mixed. So I'm gonna start adding our pasta in. We're gonna mix that together and then put it back into this baking dish. Our oven's been at 375 for a while, so it's nice and hot. Once we mix this up, put it back in the dish, we're gonna add the red sauce on top of it. And then we're gonna do another cup of the cubed mozzarella. We're just gonna dot it on top. And then the remainder of our Parmesan cheese. And then put it in there. And that's gonna be our family-sized baked ziti. I went ahead and I put the ziti in for 25 minutes. We're at 14 minutes now. It's covered with foil, so once you hear the ding, you're gonna take it out, uncover it, and then bake it for maybe another like 10 to 15 minutes, just so it gets brown on the top. If you wanted to hurry that process up, because everything will be cooked, you could broil it like I love to do. Broil just, it cooks it at 500 degrees. I think ours is 500, but it just makes it brown and crispy on top really, really quickly. So while that's cooking, we're gonna go ahead and start on our rice and beans. This is, like, I can't even believe I'm giving this recipe away. First of all, it's so easy. I make rice and beans all the time. Back in our older days, Tex and I used to eat this faithfully. So that's how I got so good at it. Well, I think it tastes amazing. So I will include all the ingredients and the how-to down in the description box below. But first, we're just gonna start with some regular smoked sausage. This, I think it has like pork, chicken, and beef, whatever. I'm not picky about the sausage. I'm just gonna get 2 large links and dice them up pretty finely. And then I have a large pot over there getting hot and sizzly. We're gonna put that in the pot, start cooking it. One thing that I do differently than I feel like a lot of different red bean and rice recipes is that I don't drain the beans. I love all that liquid. I think the liquid, it simmers down to a beautiful, almost like, it's not like creamy consistency, but it's thick. It's really good, and it allows all the other seasonings to kind of like penetrate the bean easier, and it's not dry. So we're gonna go ahead and dice this up, put it in, get it nice and crispy, and then move on to the next step. So I browned the sausage, and then I went ahead and I put all 4 cans of our beans in there. Another thing that I do a little bit differently to the rice and beans is I like to smash them. And the reason being, the whole bean is harder to penetrate with seasoning, especially if you're doing like a quick cook and you don't have that much time, but you really want beans and rice. So I smash them, and so it adds a little bit of like a creamy aspect as it cooks down. Another thing is I add the seasonings right here, right now. So I'm using Red Devil hot sauce. It's tangy, it's not spicy, and this is great for kids, but it's got a lot of good flavor to it. And as it cooks down, it's just so delicious. I can't even explain it. It's actually really hard to find, so I have like 6 in the pantry right now. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and add those seasonings, smash this down a little bit more, crank the heat up to high, and then put the top on it and just let it cook. Let it cook for a minute. So the red beans and rice have started to boil. We're just gonna cover it back up and let that do its thing for maybe like 20 minutes. Now we're gonna start on the fajitas. So I have this cornucopia in front of me. I'm gonna slice all of these. I may or may not do the third onion. I'll let you guys know, but this is a lot of veggies. So we're just gonna do the onions, the bell peppers, and then put them in this huge pot, get to sauteing those, and then add in our chicken. I am using chicken thighs for this because they yield a juicier, meatier flavor. So I feel like the breast is dry, and I just don't like dry chicken. So I went ahead and I transferred our beans and rice to the other burner. It's completely finished. I'll show you guys that once I make the rice and then we incorporate everything. So moving on to the fajitas. I just have this huge stock pot, and I put maybe about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil in there, just enough to get everything coated. I don't really want it oil heavy. So I ended up doing 2 large red onions and then every bell pepper except for 1 green bell pepper. So now that is nice and piping hot when the oil starts moving like water. And I'm just gonna dump everything in there. So wish me luck. So for these fajitas, we're actually gonna use 2 different seasonings. So I'm gonna do our regular dry fajita mix, and then this is a liquid skillet sauce. So I'm kind of just gonna eyeball it. I'll start with the dry one and then add the liquid as needed. Then I'm gonna chop up some chicken thighs and then start cooking them in here too. All right, you guys, so on to the fruit. So I chopped up some nectarines, about 2.5 nectarines, some blueberries, strawberries, and underneath are green and just regular red grapes. So in this bowl, I have some softened cream cheese. A little tip for softening your cream cheese if you don't have a mixer, pop it in the microwave for like 15 seconds and then it makes it really creamy and soft. So then to this, I'm gonna add my sour cream, my orange juice, and the vanilla pudding. You don't need to prepare the pudding. Like you don't need to put it in another bowl and then do like the milk mixture to make it set up. You just pour this directly in there. It's super easy and super delicious. So I'm gonna combine all of these, pour it over, mix the fruit, and then we are done. All right, you guys, we reached the end of this video. All 4 dishes are complete. Hubby and Alex just couldn't keep their paws off my ziti, so that explains the huge scoop, but it's okay. I did try some. It's amazing, and we're all family, so what difference does it make? So it tastes so good. I just really want you guys to try. If you try nothing else, try this recipe. Ziti makes a really good, how do I say it, like postpartum meal too. So after a woman has a baby, we really don't feel like cooking. We really don't feel like doing anything. So if you know anyone who just had a baby, this would be an amazing gift to just bring over and say, here girl, I got you. So then we have the fruit salad, the chicken fajitas with the quesadillas, and then our beans and rice. I'm just gonna pop the top on everything, load it up in my car, and give it to Mama Candy. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys love cooking with me. Comment down below any type of recipes or dishes that you would like to see me make or that you would love to see my rendition of. So I hope you guys subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And as always, love you guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.